All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the House Environment and Transportation Committee, Wednesday, March 18th. We have a few bill hearings. We will start with House Bill 1626, Delegate Metzger, Agriculture, Access to Food, Maryland Food Security, Access and Equity Act. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Roll the chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. House Bill 1626, Agriculture, Access to Food, Maryland Food Security, Access March the 18th. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, distinguished members. Let me see if you're distinguished. Yeah, there's some of you pretty distinguished. For the record, I'm Delegate Rick Metzger from Legislative District 6 in Baltimore County, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I am the sponsor of House Bill 1626, Maryland Food Security Access Equity Act. Some of you may be familiar with the term of food desert. This bill would establish the Food Security Coordination Office within the Maryland Department of Agriculture, requiring the office to establish the Rural to Urban Produce Distribution Program to connect the local farmers with urban and suburban communities experiencing food insecurities. The department would also establish a financing program to provide financial assistance for projects that stabilize and expand the Maryland grown produce for certain communities. It would also support partnerships between healthcare providers and organizations to publish statewide food security report in order to adopt certain regulations, alter the Jane Lawton Farm to School program to support nutrition education through school gardens related to food security and access equity. Ask for a favorable report on 1626. Mr. Chair, we just found out about this bill hearing yesterday afternoon, and due to the nature and time, we wasn't able to get the panel that was supposed to come because of the fastness. But I have Matthew Capodanno. He's the manager of government relations, and he understands this bill entirely a whole lot more than I. And I wouldn't mind if you would let me allow him to say a few words. Yeah, so the reason it's a sponsor only is not because we had the hearing or just scheduled. It's because it was coming out of rules. So bills that come out of rules, it's only a sponsor only. But I'm happy to talk to the guy offline. I'm sure many other members are, but it's a sponsor only hearing. Delegate Thank you so kindly.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Delegate Metzger?
I want to follow the rules. I think by now you know I'm a rule follower.
We have a question from Vice Chair Guyton.
And thank you, Delegate Metzger, for caring about this particular issue, which is really, really important. I just wonder, I know, and I don't have the bill in front of me. I thought we were voting first. I apologize. But I do see that it's jointly assigned with appropriations. Do you know what the fiscal note on this bill is?
Yes, ma'am.
And has that been okayed?
As we were walking up, they gave it to us.
Ah.
I'll tell you in 1 second. I thought I had it. Oh, there it is. Revenues, 27.0, 29.0. Go fund expenditures, 1.42, all the way to up to 20.
1.42 million?
Yes.
Okay. And has appropriations okayed that? Do you know?
I'm sorry.
5.4. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. Thank you. Just got
that's
it
the
in
net
that
effect.
effect. Thank you so much.
Delegate Morgan.
Could it say how much the cost was? 5.4 according to the fiscal note.
Right. All right. Any additional questions for Delegate Metzger? All right. Thanks for your vote and statement last night, Delegate. We appreciate it. That concludes Bill hearing House Bill 1626. Do we have Delegate Hornberger yet? Do we have?
Ladies and gentlemen, have a great day.
Prince George, we have Delegate Williams. We'll go with Delegate Williams on behalf of the Prince George's County delegation. House Bill 441, Speed Monitoring Systems, Maryland Route 210, penalties. Go ahead when you're ready.
All right. Good afternoon, Chair Corman, Vice Chair Guyton, and members of the Environment and Transportation Committee. I am Delegate Nicole Williams, testifying in favor of House Bill 441, known as the Prince George's County Speed Monitoring Systems Maryland Route 210 Penalties Bill. This bill authorizes, under certain circumstances, that the Motor Vehicles Administration suspend the registration of motor vehicles involved in violations recorded by by speed monitoring system placed on Maryland Route 210 in Prince George's County. Maryland Route 210, also known as Indian Head Highway, is a 20-mile stretch of divided road that runs through Prince George's County and connects Indian Head to Forest Heights. It is often referred to, unfortunately, as the road of death and one of the most dangerous roads in the state of Maryland due to the high number of fatal speed-related accidents reported each year. This legislation aims to increase the consequences of speeding by allowing the MVA to suspend a vehicle's registration if the driver fails to pay a contested or fails to pay or contest a speed camera ticket. This legislation focuses on drivers who accumulate multiple unpaid speed camera violations or substantial unpaid penalties. By increasing the penalty, this bill will deter reckless driving, reduce preventable crashes, and enhance the safety of all motorists and pedestrians who rely on this highway. And for these reasons, I urge the committee to give a favorable report to House Bill 441.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Delegate Foley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Delegate, for bringing this bill. And I've certainly, having driven on 210, not too often, but the few times I've been there, I certainly see why additional enforcement is necessary. But my question is, do you know of another situation where we have a driving record based on the road that the vehicle is driving on? That seems a little unique to me, and I just wondered if there was anywhere else where that was the case, where we had this kind of severe penalty for driving on a specific road in violation of speed laws.
Yes, I'm not certain if there are any other specific roads that we targeted in this way, but I do know, as I was stated before, that this road is one of the most, has the highest number of fatalities than any other state road in the state, unfortunately.
Okay. And my second question is a follow-up to that, if I might, Mr. Chair. So is there a way, obviously they know where the location of the speed camera is, but once the violation is recorded and the citation is issued, does that information follow the violation as it works its way through the system, so that they would know that all of those were from one road? All of these, given violations were one road? Do you know that?
I'm not certain 100%. Let me see. I'm looking at the fiscal note here. Yeah, I would have to get back to you, Delegate, just
okay.
on the answer on that question if MVA tracks the location of the penalties. I mean, I'm sure, I know when the person gets it in the mail,
Yeah, of
it
course,
indicates where, the road that they were driving and everything else. So.
Okay, thank you. I would appreciate that information. Thank you.
Delegate Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Delegate, thank you for bringing the bill forward. Chairwoman Valderrama was in here a couple days ago with a bill sort of similar, but she mentioned that last year on Route 210 there were 90,000 speeding tickets given. Do you have any idea how much money was collected from those 90,000 tickets?
I don't know the exact dollar amount that was captured from those tickets, but I do know in the fiscal note, it does mention that if this bill were to go into effect, it would help to increase revenues to our Transportation Trust Fund, which I know we hold very near and dear to our heart. But I don't know the exact dollar amount.
Okay, thank you.
From those tickets from last year.
Okay.
Delegate Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Delegate Williams, for bringing this bill. We have heard about the dangerous conditions on this stretch of road. I'm just curious, so there are other legislative proposals before us this year to address dangerous driving. Right. There's a piece of legislation that would force repeat dangerous drivers into a sort of training program. We actually passed legislation, I think it was Delegate Allen's bill, that will that will set up a pilot that will require repeat dangerous drivers to use what's refer to as a speed governor, that's a speed control in the car. Do you think those other, so we're trying to, really get our arms around this issue. It's persistent, it's pervasive. Do you think those other bills might address the issues you have on this road, this stretch of Highway 210? Or do you really feel that this extra action is needed? Because the violators are particularly bad on this stretch.
Yeah, no, I think those measures are super helpful in trying to deter the fatalities and the speeding that we see along 210. But we feel like because the behavior has been so egregious, that we just are requesting this additional measure. And then I wanted to circle back to Delegate Foley's question in the fiscal note. It says that if the person liable for the violation does not pay the civil penalty, MVA may, on notice from Prince George's County, suspend the registration. So it would have to come from a request from the county to MVA is how that would work.
All right, well, thank you, thank you.
Sure.
Additional questions for the delegation chair? Okay, thank you very much. That concludes the bill hearing on House Bill 441.
Thank you all so much for your consideration.
We'll turn to Delegate Hornberger, House Bill 1370, Town of Rising Sun, Stop Sign Monitoring Systems Authorization of Pilot Program.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Delegate Hornberger here on behalf of HB 1370, which is a local municipal bill, and appreciate the committee hearing this. It's a novel approach. Just like Prince George's County, we have a number of small municipalities, and they're residential, and they're struggling with law enforcement. So they do have police officers. However, putting a police officer at a stop sign doesn't give the same value as that following up on cases and doing real police work. So we were actually brought this idea by the town, and they're requesting authorization, once approved by their council, to implement these. We do have a signed letter from the delegation unanimously supporting it, and love to take any questions, and I hope that you move favorable on the bill.
Thank you. We have a question from Vice Chair Guyton.
Yeah, I was thinking, but thank you, Mr. Chair. So I've been to Rising Sun, and I definitely
Great.
learned to be safe, and I know those roads up there can get a little crazy, so
Yes.
I recognize the issue. I kind of think of Rising Sun as just one four-way stop, to be honest.
It's got a
Is
number
that-
of them, but
that's-
yes.
Yeah. So this pilot, how big would that be? 'Cause really, there's not much there. I mean,
Yeah, so we have 3 intersections that they're looking at. And the purpose of this is to curtail behavior. This is not
Sure.
a revenue stream. We've actually partnered with some nonprofits that are going to help with traffic calming. They saw this as a tool in the toolbox. And full disclosure, I am a graduate of Rising Sun High School. So this is near and dear to my heart. But
awesome. So no, I did not think it was a revenue stream. I don't
Yep.
believe any of our automated speed enforcement or camera enforcement are, actually. Do you believe you can get your colleagues to vote for this on the floor?
I can be a very convincing person when I want to be. So I do.
And I do just want to note, Delegate Hornberger, I checked your vote on last year's local stop sign enforcement, and you were in favor of allowing local officials to do what they wanted. So
Something to be said with local control.
I appreciate that. Any additional questions for Delegate Hornberger? Delegate Jacobs.
All right, Delegate Hornberger. I'm looking at testimony. I didn't see any letter from the county council, but in the first paragraph on the fiscal note, it says a stop sign monitoring system may only be used in location approved by the Cecil County Council.
Yes.
So did they weigh in on this?
So we have an amendment, and the amendment moves that to what we believe is the rightful body, which is the town, to approve. And that was the one that was approved by the delegation. So this would be a town council decision, not a county council decision.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Further questions? Delegate Naraki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Delegate, good to see you. I know that Rising Sun is a bustling metropolis. How many stop signs are we talking there? Like, hundreds of stop signs?
Yeah, we're looking in the neighborhood of around 3.
3. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So I want to keep our young people especially safe. It is a walkable town. I encourage all of you, just like Madam Vice Chair, to come visit. We have coffee shops and a main street. It's just as American as you can get. So please stop by and have a coffee on me.
I went to summer camp right over there, Delegate.
Yes.
Delegate Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This question is actually for Ms. Vice Chair. What is your definition of colleagues? You'd referenced colleagues.
All of us are colleagues, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not going to do any more questioning of each other. This is Delegate Hornberger's honor to answer our questions. Any further questions for Delegate Hornberger?
Favorable.
Delegate Hornberger, how would you define colleagues?
I think that all of humanity is colleagues,
Fantastic.
and I think that we should all work to get along.
Great.
Yep.
Well, thank you. That concludes Bill hearing House Bill 1370. Let's turn to House Bill 1424, Delegate Baylor, Anne Arundel County Community Sewerage Systems Homeowners Association Control.
That was beautiful. Good afternoon, colleagues. Delegate Dylan Baylor testifying on House Bill 1424, Anne Arundel County Community Sewerage Systems Homeowner Association Control. This bill passed out of our delegation unanimously. I have some folks up here who can help explain the bill. Just high level, this bill is applicable to one specific HOA and development in Anne Arundel County. It's a bill at the request of our county executive and his administration, and I'm joined by Greg Swain from the Office of Law. Generally speaking, there was a development that had a sewage system as a part of it, and since then, MES has been in operations of it, but there's been lawsuits back and forth between the different entities on who will take control. So the parties came together, the HOA, who's represented by Mr. Katz, the county, and Maryland Environmental Service to come up with this proposed solution here. What this would do is provide a very limited exemption to allow the HOA to take control of the facility, put some guardrails in place, and in the event, as drafted, in the event that there needs to be state involvement in the future, would direct MES to step back in. I would respectfully request a favorable report. And again, I'll turn it over to Greg Swain to provide some additional context.
Good afternoon. I'm Greg Swain. I'm the county attorney for Anne Arundel County. The situation that Delegate Baylor described, it's a private shared sewage disposal system that services 24 homes in a subdivision called Southern Hills. These types of systems require what they call a controlling authority, and it has to be a governmental entity. So the problem that's arisen is, although MES was originally the controlling authority, that situation wasn't working out for them, so they attempted to withdraw as the controlling authority, and that led to a couple different lawsuits. So right now, the system's being operated without a controlling authority, which is basically illegal. I mean, it's being operated, but the MES is not in control of it anymore. What this bill will do would allow the HOA to act basically as the controlling authority and operate the system. The HOA has a set of declarations that imposes assessments for operation of the sewage system, and also funds what they call a sinking fund that would fund any major renovations or replacement of the system. So it basically puts control of this sewage disposal system in the hands of the HOA, which is, in our opinion, the county's opinion, is where it belongs. So the county supports the bill, and we hope to have the committee's support as well.
Good afternoon, David Katz, attorney on behalf of South Star Development, the current fee owner of this particular facility. I think Greg did a good job highlighting, the narrowness, and Delegate Baylor highlighting the narrowness of the bill requested, and we would ask that the committee support the bill in its current form. Really, all this does is it creates optionality for the residents to operate it by themselves. As it sits today, the facility is effectively being illegally operated because the HOA and the private developer are not permitted by law to operate it. And we have a situation where there's, disputes between the various parties, and the facility is effectively being neglected. Now it's up and running, and certain capital improvements have been made to ensure its long-term success. But what is being proposed, and I guess what has historically transpired with MES operating it, it comes at a significant cost to the residents, and having the option to operate it independently will be much more affordable for the residents. I would say that this doesn't put the state in any precarious position because the law will provide that MES will serve as a backup if the residents prove that they can't operate it themselves. And that's how the law exists today. So there's nothing that compromises the state MES in any way with what's being proposed. It's simply allowing giving the residents the option to try to operate it more effectively, more economically, and actually legally, because it can't do so today under the law as it stands today. Thank you.
Any questions? Delegate Grammer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is enabling, is that correct?
It's authorizing in a very limited manner for the county to transfer responsibilities to the private HOA. So
Okay,
I
and
think
just,
that's
can you
enabling.
explain to me, like, what essentially are you managing in a sewerage system that will be taken over by the HOA, just so I can understand it more clearly in my head?
So it is effectively a small wastewater treatment facility, all right? So it's 24 single-family homes. They all pump to this facility that's on site, and the sewage is, and I'm not an expert in terms of how every component and how it operates, but it treats it there and then funnels filtered water into a retaining pond on site. Currently, the law allows for MES to designate a private designee to operate it, and it's the objective of the residents to do exactly that. Greg, what is the name of the group?
It's not South Star.
Not South Star. It's I apologize. The name escaped. Okay. But currently, and again illegally, a private designee is servicing the facility, and they would remain in place.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions for the delegators panel? Okay, thank you. That concludes the bill hearing on House Bill 1424 and all the bill hearings for today. Before we break up, I just want to thank everybody for the work on the energy bill. I know it was not a bipartisan vote in the committee, but it was a bipartisan work product. I think you saw that on the floor. We did have a bipartisan vote, and I thought some very good discussion. So I think everybody contributed to it in some way, so I just really appreciate everyone's help there. I was called out by Delegate Naraki the other day for not providing candy like the vice chair. And so this is your annual reminder that I do this every year, but here is your crunch bar, because what time is it right now? Right. I probably should have done this last week, given how this committee schedule works now. But this is just your reminder that we're going to be moving pretty fast over these next few days. And Delegate Naraki, you have a rebuttal?
Mr. Chair, I just want to point out it was a beautiful long stem rose that I was provided by the vice chair. It wasn't candy. It was even more special, I think.
She also provided candy. So maybe she might have skipped your desk for reasons I won't state. Delegate Foley, you have something about candy?
No, it's not about candy, but I did also, to follow up on your thank you, I want to thank you, Mr. Chair, and Delegate Frazier Hidalgo for your work on this, as well as our wonderful Vice Chair, Delegate Guyton. You all three of you just worked all the time on this, and I'm really proud to be a part of this team and to have you folks leading us. That's number one. And number two, I'd also like to really give a big shout out to Steve Ross, our staff person who spent countless hours on this. He did a fabulous job. Thank you.
He absolutely did. Also, I should mention that the crunch bar tradition actually came from my son. It was his idea, so I want to give him credit, because sometimes he watches these videos. You learn that trick from the vice chair's son, always watching what we're doing. And with that, we are going to take a break till 1:45, and we'll come back to vote. So voting at 1:45, so don't go far. Thanks, everybody.